Hi everyone, here's a little video clip for you using SoMachine, and just want to show you how you can organize different parts of your program. So over on the left hand side here, we've got the master task, which is just the default part of the program that always runs as fast as it possibly can, going from top to bottom. And then in here, I've got number 1 and number 2. So those are two pieces of my program that obviously show up separately on the screen. So the first one has just got rung 012, and I've given it a name, IO mapping. So in the IO mapping, it's inputs and outputs. So I've just done a little bit of a program in here, taking each input and putting it into memory. And then for the output, giving the output a memory value and copying that directly to the physical output as well. So this bit of program is quite helpful if you're not too sure about which wire or which number is actually each particular input coming into your PLC, or if you're not sure if things are normally open or normally closed, because here you can just make one program or one piece of program, and it's very easy to come back and just change it in one place later on. And then when we actually want to do some interesting stuff with the values of these ones, so I've just done motor control with a little latching circuit as a simple example, and you can see in here I've got the memory values. So the number 50 and 51 for the inputs, and number 70 for the outputs, to keep them nice and separated so I'm not going to confuse anything there. So all of this program is just done using memory values. And then the other piece of the program, the IO mapping, this one, it just takes whatever status that program says for the motor part and the memory, and it's going to copy that directly to the output. So organizing your program like this is not going to slow it down at all. It's not going to make it faster either. It's just going to help to organize things to make sure that you've got one place where you're allocating what your inputs and outputs are doing, and you can have a different place where you're starting to do some interesting stuff and implementing the logic that you need. If we need to create another task in here, we can do a right click, and we've got the first option is to add POU. So POU itself is not a particularly helpful name, but I think the long form of that name is the Program Organization Unit. So anyway, we'll add another one of them, and it just comes up with a default name. So we'll go right click again, and we can rename that to make it something more interesting. There'll be a few reserved words that you can't use, like start is one that it'll tell you is an error. So maybe if we try calling this counting, and we could put in one of our counter modules into here. Maybe we just have a reset and a count and an output. You can wire this one up. So I won't complete all of this one, but the idea is I just wanted to show you that you can have different pieces of your program that are doing different jobs, and it's a really good way of organizing things. And if you need to combine together programs from different people as well, then this is a good way to do it. So under each one of these ones, like the motor part, we can export that one. So it gives us a little backup file that we can save on our computer. We can send it to somebody else, and they can import it add it into their program. So like you can see from the master task there, we've got export and import as options. So if somebody else sends you one of their little files, you can import it, and it's going to add into your system. So that's going to be a good tool to use if you're working on a team project. When it comes to simulating, because obviously we don't have everything on one screen anymore, we've got things in different places. So what I'd recommend is using this animation table. So I've already created this one, but you've got an option to add a new animation table there on the top left. So I'll just select the one that I've already created. And we've got the values of our inputs and outputs are listed in there. So the little box at the top is where you can type things in, either type in the address that you're interested in, or type in the name of the particular thing. So if I just put motor and click add or enter on the keyboard, so it recognizes motor as the name, and it recognizes the address %M70. So while I'm running this program, I'll be able to see the status of these things and force them on and off to test out the combinations of how my logic's working. So hopefully this little example has been helpful for you to show some of the features, what we can do, and how we can organize things to try and make it a bit easier to follow and to be able to work together with other people when you need to share bits of your program. So I'll see you next time.